If you live between light and dark, you're part of the 1% hybrid chosen ones. Let me tell you something most people will never hear in their lifetime. If you've ever felt like you don't fully belong to the light, nor completely surrender to the dark, you might be among the rarest beings walking this earth, the 1% hybrid chosen ones. And no, this isn't some spiritual clickbait. This is a truth hidden in plain sight, buried beneath the noise of ordinary life. We are not talking about good versus evil, saints versus sinners, or light workers versus shadow dwellers. No, we are talking about something far more complex, mysterious, and powerful, the sacred space between the two. The crack where the light leaks in, but also where the dark whispers truths no one else dares to hear. You. You ever notice how you've never quite fit in? That no matter how much you try to lean into the light, whether it's positivity, love, high vibrations, you still carry a weight, a depth, a knowing. And when you explore the shadow, the pain, the chaos, the void, there's still a part of you that refuses to drown. That's not confusion, that's design. You are designed to stand precisely in the middle. You are not broken. You are the bridge.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
We've been taught to pick sides. That light is good and dark is evil. That the spiritual path is about eliminating the dark entirely. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful beings in this world are the ones who never chose a side, but became both? What if being a chosen one isn't about purity or perfection, but about balance, resilience, and radical self-awareness? The hybrid soul is not here to follow the old scripts. The hybrid soul is here to rewrite them. You see, the 1% hybrid chosen ones are forged in contrast. But we are born into lives that feel like contradictions. Our childhood may have been filled with both love and neglect. Our minds can hold both chaos and clarity. Our hearts ache deeply, but also love fiercely. We are the ones who can sit with the wounded and still hold the light. We can gaze into the abyss without losing ourselves. We can feel the entire spectrum of human emotion without being destroyed by it. That is not weakness. That is a sacred superpower. But it doesn't come easy. For most of our lives, we feel like we're being pulled apart. Like we're too dark for the light, too light for the dark. We're told we're too emotional, too intense, too sensitive, too weird, too silent, too loud, too much. And yet, deep inside, we know we were never meant to be anything less. We were never meant to be dull. We were never meant to live only in the safety of light. We were meant to dance in the storm. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you honored your shadows instead of trying to fix them? When was the last time you looked at your pain not as a problem, but as a portal? What if your trauma isn't your curse, but your curriculum? What if the darkness you carry is not your enemy, but your initiation? We're not talking about romanticizing suffering. We're talking about transmuting it, alchemizing it, turning it into wisdom, compassion, power. Only the hybrid ones can do this. Only those who have walked through both fire and light, who have bled in the silence of their own mind, but still chose to rise. And here's the crazy part: most of the world will never understand you. They'll see your contradictions and call it confusion. They'll see your depth and call it drama. But you know something deeper. You feel something ancient inside you. A knowing. A sense that you're here for something massive, something cosmic. And you are. You are a code hidden in human form, a divine paradox, a soul that came to Earth not to escape the matrix, but to reprogram it. And the reason your life has been so intense, so strange, so indescribable, is because you're not here to live a normal life. You're here to wake others up. But to wake others up, you must first wake up to yourself. You must look in the mirror and see not just the face, but the frequency behind it. You must claim every part of your being, the light that shines and the dark that protects, the healer and the warrior, the monk and the rebel. You must realize that your wholeness doesn't come from choosing one side over the other, but from honoring both fully. And here's something no one talks about. The ones who live between light and dark are often the most tested. Life throws storms, loss, heartbreak, and silence at them, not to punish them, but to prepare them. Because only those who have been broken open can carry the codes of transformation. Only those who have walked through fire can speak with the authority of the soul. You didn't go through all that pain for nothing. You went through it so you could become something no one else could. Now, I won't lie to you. This path is not easy. It demands everything. Your truth, your fear, your courage, your silence, your voice. But it also offers something unimaginable in return: sovereignty. The kind of inner power that can't be bought, faked, or taken away. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. The kind of wisdom that makes people stop in their tracks and listen. Because when you stand between the worlds, you carry a frequency that can't be defined. You are not bound by rules. You are the rule breaker, the system bender, the spiritual hacker. And the world needs you more than ever. We are in a time of collapse and rebirth, and it's the hybrid souls, the ones who understand both shadow and light, who can guide the way. You are not here to play small. You are not here to hide. You are here to remember who you are, to reclaim your magic, to rise from your ashes, not just better but blazing. So I'll leave you with this question. What part of yourself have you been denying in order to fit in with a world that was never built for you? And what would happen, what miracle would unfold if you finally stopped trying to belong and instead chose to become? You're the 1%, not the elite of society, the elite of soul. You are the ones who walk between light and dark and still burn brighter than stars. You are the future ancient ones, and your time has come. When you stand at the edge of light and darkness, you become the bridge between worlds. There's something you need to know, something that's been buried under the weight of society's expectations, under generations of fear, religious dogma, and spiritual bypassing. The edge is not a place of weakness, and it is the most potent, sacred place a soul can stand. And if you're there, if you're living between light and dark, you are not lost. You are not in limbo. You are at the crossroads of creation. The edge is where all true transformation happens. It's where the veil between worlds is thin. It's where the soul begins to remember its full power. And yet, most avoid the edge because it's uncomfortable. It's unpredictable. It's raw. But you've been called to live there. You've been called to become the bridge, not just for yourself, but for others who are too afraid to walk into the unknown alone. Living between light and dark means you're fluent in the language of paradox. You can feel joy and grief in the same breath. You can hold space for someone's pain without trying to fix it. You can honor your anger without becoming it. This isn't spiritual confusion, this is spiritual maturity. Most people want clarity in black and white. But you live in the gray. You live in the shimmer between worlds. You hold a wisdom that is too vast to be simplified, too ancient to be explained. But with that wisdom comes responsibility. And this is the part that most chosen ones don't want to hear. Your pain is not just yours. Your healing is not just yours. You are coded to carry the healing of entire bloodlines, lineages, and timelines within you. That's why it's been so heavy. That's why your path has been so lonely. Because while others are living recycled lives, you are living a soul mission. You didn't come here to be comfortable. You came here to liberate. And what does liberation look like for a hybrid soul? It's not about escaping the world. It's about re-entering it fully awakened. It's about walking into chaos with clarity. It's about showing people that you can be both soft and strong, both grounded and cosmic, both human and divine. It's about embodying a frequency so rare, so authentic, that people can't help but feel something ancient stir inside them when they're near you. But here's the truth: the world won't always understand you. In fact, it might resist you, because people fear what they can't define. They fear what mirrors back their own unclaimed power. So don't be surprised when people project onto you. Don't be shocked when they call you too intense, too deep, too different. That's the price of being awake in a sleeping world. That's the cost of carrying light and shadow in equal measure. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be remembered. And the ones who are meant for you will recognize you not by how you look, not by what you say, but by your frequency. Your energy will be their permission slip. Your truth will be their catalyst. Your presence will feel like home. And that's how you know you're walking in your purpose, not because you're being praised, but because you're activating others. So I ask you again, what would happen if you stopped hiding your fire? If you stopped shrinking to make others comfortable? If you stopped trying to explain your soul to people who were never meant to understand it? What would happen if, instead of dimming yourself, you let your contradictions become your compass? Because here's the deeper truth: your contradictions are not flaws. They are codes. They are sacred instructions written into your DNA. You are the storm and the stillness, the moon and the flame, the healer and the warrior. And if that makes people uncomfortable, let it. Your life is not a performance, it's a prophecy. The sacred fire you carry was never meant to be hidden. There comes a moment in every hybrid soul's journey when the silence becomes louder than the noise, when the world's distractions no longer satisfy, when the masks you've worn just to survive, to blend in, to make others comfortable begin to suffocate you. You look around and realize you've been living someone else's dream, someone else's idea of success, someone else's definition of normal. And that moment, though terrifying, is the beginning of your true life. Because you weren't born to survive. You were born to ignite. The sacred fire inside you, the one you've been told is too much, the one you've tried to suppress or channel into ordinary paths, is not a weakness. It is your map. It is your medicine. It is the very essence of your purpose. That fire is what makes you wake up in the middle of the night with visions. It's what makes you cry at the beauty of a bird's flight or the sound of someone's voice cracking with truth. It's what makes you rage when you see injustice, not because you're angry, but because your soul remembers a world that once was whole. You are not here to be passive. You are not here to be polite. You are here to disrupt, to awaken, to heal, to remind. And to do that, you must reclaim your fire. You must stop apologizing for your intensity. You must stop silencing your truth just to keep the peace. Peace that costs you your authenticity is not peace, it's a prison. And you were never meant to live caged. But to unleash that fire, you must first go inward. You must meet the parts of yourself you've avoided. You must sit with your own shadow and say, I see you. I'm not afraid of you anymore, because the shadow is not the enemy. It's the part of you that's holding your greatest power, your most ancient gifts. And when you finally stop running from it, when you integrate it, you become whole. Not perfect, whole. Wholeness is not sterile. It's wild. It's radiant. It's real. And it's magnetic. When you become whole, you stop chasing love, you attract it. You stop begging for purpose, you embody it. You stop fearing the unknown, you become it. That's the power of the hybrid soul. That's the power of living between light and dark. You learn to create from the void. You learn to shine without burning out. You learn to lead without dominating. But here's something no one tells you. Being chosen means choosing yourself every single day. It means choosing to stay awake when it's easier to numb. It means choosing to keep your heart open even when it's been shattered. It means choosing to trust the unfolding even when everything around you is falling apart. You are not chosen because you are better. You are chosen because you said yes to the fire. You said yes to the pain. You said yes to the mission, and Spirit heard you. You are here to be a living example of what it means to remember. Remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Remember your soul's language. Remember how to walk through life as a bridge, not just between light and dark, but between the seen and unseen, the ancient and the modern, the human and the divine. You are not a mistake. You are a mirror. And every person who crosses your path will either be triggered by your depth or transformed by it. Don't dim to be digestible. Don't shrink to be safe. The world doesn't need more replicas. It needs you in your raw, unfiltered, undeniable truth. So I ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped trying to be spiritual and started being real? What if your authenticity was your highest prayer? What if your mess was your medicine? What if your contradictions were your crown? Because the truth is, the most powerful beings are never polished. They're pierced by love, pierced by loss, pierced by purpose. And that piercing becomes the portal. You are not just a person, you are a portal. And when you walk into a room, energy shifts. When you speak truth, illusions crumble. When you choose love in the face of fear, timelines change. You are that powerful. But only if you own it. Only if you stop pretending you're anything less than the fire and the ocean, the storm and the silence, the divine and the deeply human. You are the 1% hybrid chosen ones. You are the future. You are the memory of what we've forgotten and the prophecy of what's to come. You are the key to a new world, but first, you must unlock yourself. There's a moment maybe it hasn't happened for you yet, or maybe it's happening now where everything cracks. The illusions, the roles, the masks, the stories, they all begin to fall. And you're left bare, exposed, raw. And in that moment, there's a choice. Will you try to rebuild the old shell, or will you finally break through into the truth of who you are? This is where the 1% hybrid chosen ones rise. Not because they're perfect, not because they have it all figured out, but because they stop running. They stop running from their power. They stop running from their pain. They stop running from the path they were born to walk. And in that stillness, in that surrender, something ancient awakens. You begin to realize that you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out, not in a superficial way, not for attention or validation, but as a frequency. A living signal to the rest of the world that a new way of being is possible, that you can live with depth and still laugh, that you can face your shadow and still shine, that you can hold divine codes and still be wildly human. The hybrid chosen ones are not here to escape the world, they're here to rewrite it. You are the architects of the new earth. But to build something new, you must first break everything that isn't aligned. Old belief systems, outdated identities, the lies you told yourself to stay comfortable. All of it has to go. And yes, it's painful. But pain is just the pressure of transformation. You know that ache in your chest, the one you feel when you're not living your truth. That's your soul knocking. That's your purpose calling. It doesn't want you to play it safe. It wants you to ignite, to rise, to remember. Because when you do, when you finally unlock that version of you that's been waiting behind the veil, you don't just change your life. You change everything. This world doesn't need more noise. It needs more presence. It needs people who are willing to walk into the fire and come out gold. People who are willing to feel everything and still choose love. People who are willing to hold both the light and the dark without losing their center. That's you. That's what you came for. And when you step into that role, truly you begin to see miracles unfold. Not the kind that fall from the sky, but the kind that rise from inside you. You begin to speak, and people hear more than just words, they feel truth. You begin to move through life with a quiet power that can't be explained, only felt. You begin to remind others that they too are divine, and that they too are whole, that they too are infinite. So I'll ask you one final question. What if, right now, you stopped searching for the path and realized you are the path? What if the very thing you've been waiting for is you? Not the you that plays small, not the you that hides, but the you that remembers, the you that knows. The time of playing small is over. The time of hiding your frequency is over. The time of waiting for permission is over. You are the 1%, not because you are above others, but because you had the courage to go within when everyone else was looking outside. You are the light in the dark in the light, the bridge between worlds, the fire in human form. So rise. The world is waiting.